Shodredux's video game commentaries. Hello and welcome again. Of course, I'll be using the M14 in Battlefield Play4Free, with the attachments being the Rapid Aim Red Dot, the CQC ammo, standoff barrel, and tactical stock. So with the attachments that I went with for the M14, it doesn't make it for a very far range rifle in comparison to being able to withstand the M95 or the M24 sniper rifles, but why would you want to do such a thing with this gun to begin with? Unless you wanted to look like a boss and be really cool, which I don't blame you. On a more respectable level, I do like the M14 for the simple fact that it does make it challenging for me as far as being able to maintain with enemy kills, because it actually helps train in my accuracy for sniper shots, because I'm so used to actually having the farther scopes and you know, the more heavy hitters, so to speak. The M14 is just, in my opinion, my training weapon go-to, so I can work on my quick scoping in, my adjustments to my headshots, and being able to maintain accuracy. However, that doesn't mean this gun is a total piece of crap either, because by far it isn't. It's just a good weapon to use as far as in a various amount of engagements. I mean, you can use it from closer ranges to medium range standoffs, if you maintain good accuracy with it, of course. But of course, being on the map Myanmar, it makes it considerably easier because you have bushes and things to hide in. And a lot of cover when moving as well, because of those bushes and trees. The reason why I decided to go with that Rapid Aim Red Dot is because it's all in the name. You know, you can aim down the sight really quickly, a lot faster than any of the other sights, I believe, in Battlefield Play4Free. This just seemed to be the quickest sight to aim down scope without any extended delay. And it's especially good to have it with the M14 because what you lack in power you can make up with quickness and accurate shots, and being able to readjust yourself a lot quicker than you would if you were to have the farther ranged zoom scopes. Of course, I also went with the CQC ammo because it gives it that extra edge in damage, so I just wanted to do a little bit more damage than the normal with the M14 because I know it does, yet again, lack in power, but with the attachments that I use, I just made it a really close quarters weapon, even though you see right there I was just trying to snipe at somebody from a little bit too far of a range. The good thing about it though is if I actually go through and decide to snipe from that far, I still do considerably more damage than I would if I didn't have the CQC ammo. Also, like in the description for the tactical stock, it does state that it's good for non-bolt action rifles, meaning that tactical stock is suitable for the M14 in the deviation of when you zoom down scope and fire your shot. There's less of a pop-up from the rifle when you're firing each shot. So, like I said, it's good for being able to adjust your shots quite easily because you're not getting that large amount of kick up. Last but not least, I use the standoff barrel because it increases the range quite a bit with the M14 in those medium range combat scenarios like it says in the description, as well as the close quarters engagements that I'll run into as well. So making this rifle with those attachments, like I said, a good close quarters gun to be able to you know, maintain and keep up with the enemies. And like I said, the additional factor that helps is being on Myanmar. It is a good map for a lot of cover and a lot of running around without being caught so easily, depending on how you choose your route. Just to hit home again why I use the M14 mainly and have it in my my recon class, it's a good training weapon. I can, of course, set it up with however I want it to be able to practice of what type of scope I want to use, and being able to practice my headshot accuracy or my enemy distance accuracy or anything like that. It's just a good rifle to use because if you want to become more consistent with your bolt action rifles, you can use this weapon to train you in that aspect. If you just focus on accurate shots. And then when you're done focusing on the accurate shots, you can work more on your quickness as far as being able to fire your shots more accurately in between time, you know. It's a good rifle to use just as for training purposes, for me at least. You know, the M14 in Battlefield Play for Free, as far as the recon class, does gain a lot of negative attention because of how people perceive the gun. It's really not that all bad of a gun. It just is a matter of how you decide to play with the gun. You know, the gun's obviously not something that you want to get on a standoff situation against some guy with an M95 with the Desert Ballistic scope, you know, and using this. Of course, your chances of winning are not going to be that great. But say if you do get in a close quarters match with him, your chances do stand a lot higher because of his reloading and his bolt cycling, you know. It's considerably longer than what you have. You already have a magazine inside this gun that you can fire semi-automatic shots off, just like if you were using a really high damage pistol. So, you know, just take that in consideration. Even when you do attach the furthest zoom scope on the M14, the type of engagements that you still want to get into are just as far as, you know, being medium range, and that's it. You know, it's not designed for long distance shots. So that's one of the things that I just want to point out with the M14. Also, a lot of people tend to think that they can move back and forth while firing the M14. No, it still has the same attributes as a sniper rifle. You want to remain as stationary as possible when firing it. So keep that in mind, you know, and you want to be behind pretty well covered areas too. But it can be devastating if used in the correct scenarios and the correct environment. Of course, seeing how the M14 has the sniper rifle's similar traits, of course you want to always aim down sight whenever possible with it to provide the most accurate shot. And if you make your shots close enough, you can deal one-hit kills if it's a headshot. Of course, if people don't have the additional health under their training points, of course. Then there's a bunch of different factors and scenarios and all that good stuff together, depending on how you handle it. But of course, it is possible to deal a one-hit headshot with this rifle if you're close enough and the conditions are right, either way. Of course, this sniper rifle really isn't a headshot machine, so when I use it in my training purposes, I just aim for the center mass of the target. That doesn't mean, you know, when the enemy gets close enough, I don't try and aim for the head, because I most certainly do, because I know the closer in they get, the more damage that the rifle does, of course, as with any other weapon in Play for Free. The M14 really isn't as bad as people like to point it out to be, but don't think of it as like a stellar weapon either. I mean, it's definitely a more intermediate to challenging weapon to use, because it does take some bit of time to get used to in its fire rate and how to actually use the M14. So it does have a bit of a higher learning curve in consideration to some of the other sniper rifles that you would, or marksman rifles that you would use in Play for Free. That's all I have for the M14 and the attachments that I decided to use with it. So if you wanted a bit of a change of pace for your recon class, the M14 is definitely the rifle that I would suggest choosing. But it also does seem to be considered a novelty rifle, nothing more, nothing less. Just something that you can just tack on and saying and Play for Free that I have this gun. But as far as recommending it, I would only say use it for training purposes if you want to help hone your skills as a sniper altogether, because it does help in that regard for me. Also, just a quick thank you to those that actually made it to the live broadcast. You guys are awesome, and those that played in it are super amazing too. There will be another live broadcast coming here in the future, so stay tuned for that. I'll see y'all next time.
19 and 9. That's reasonable.
Wait, Bob.